What's going on, everybody? This is Tom with Lagline News, bringing you the latest information about video games and other services. Today we're going to be talking about how Nintendo launches opening salvo and war against Switch 2 game pirates as Mig Switch users report online service bans. Apparently, people have been using the Mig Switches in order to play games that they downloaded offline or backup save files that they had from the previous Switch game. And Nintendo already views this as against their terms of service, and they were very upfront earlier before the Switch 2 even launched that they were completely against anything like this. If you used anything that was non-Nintendo products or that violated their terms of service, you were going to get banned. They were very upfront about this, and it looks like people decided to test the waters, and now they're reaping the benefits of their actions, aka the consequences. Let's see what Nintendo Switch 2 News has to say about it. A wave of Nintendo Switch 2 users have reported suddenly being banned from accessing the console's online services and believe their use of the Mig Switch cartridge is the cause. The Mig Switch is a flash cartridge that stores and plays copied Nintendo Switch 1 games, something Nintendo itself takes a dim view on, like I said. Even as many users of the device claim they're just playing backups of their own legally bought software. Yeah, right. We know gamers and how they are. I guarantee most of them are not legal. Let's face it. It's gamers. They're going to do whatever they can to get free games or anything else like that. It's just standard. It's what you expect. But regardless of its purpose, the outcome of inserting the Mig Switch into your Switch 2 looks to be the same. Impacted users say they've begun receiving online bans on their Switch 2 consoles, blocking them from online play, the console's eShop, and access to the other Nintendo services. And now, they're hurriedly warning others of the consequences, aka they're trying to reiterate what Nintendo's already said a long time ago. If you read your terms of service, it's to be expected. Somebody on Reddit had actually posted, "My Switch 2 test has been banned. After using the Mig Switch with perfectly legal dumps of my own cartridges, so it would seem that Nintendo can detect something." One user wrote, or at least somebody else, on social media, linking to a string of similar reports online. Quote, "Similar reports on Reddit are starting to come in. I strongly recommend that you do not use the Mig Switch. It is already very risky to begin with, but even more so on the Switch 2. End quote. I don't understand why people thought it was even a good idea. But the error code, as you can see on the screen, is error code 2124-4508. The use of online services on this console is currently restricted by Nintendo. I think it's actually really hilarious how they're doing that. Nintendo's like, yeah, you want to do this? All right, we're playing ball, guys. On Reddit, another user claimed that it had tried the Mig Switch on their Switch 2 console once to play a legitimately backed up game they owned before receiving Nintendo's online ban. If it's a legitimate backup copy, I can understand that. But every time the whole Mig Switch sounds like the old Game Sharks back in the day, how you would upload and upload cheat codes for any game you wanted. Pokemon was a big one, as well as any game you wanted. It didn't matter. They were huge. I tried my Mig Switch on my NS2 once, the user wrote. It didn't work. It just showed the game title and refused to load. It tried to download a title update for it, and that was it. Maybe it downloaded a flag for the console to be banned. This was over a week ago. This happened, though. I've been playing with a legitimate cartridge ever since. I find it funny that people seem to have these kind of issues. I mean, I've never used a Mig Switch. I didn't even know what a Mig Switch was until after I started reading this news article. And to me, it seems like people knew what they were doing. But anyways, let's continue. Users with an online ban now see the following warning messages pop up when they try to use the Switch 2 feature that requires internet connectivity. Error code 2124-4508. The use of online services on this console is currently restricted by Nintendo. No duh. On YouTube gaming emulation channel Shattered Brain has posted a video showing their raw banned Switch 2 console and said that simply signing into another Nintendo account on the device did not lift the ban. It's because it is strictly for the console, not the accounts, which seems to be applied at a console level. Boop. I guess we should keep reading. This shows banned Switch 2 consoles can be still played offline. So Nintendo has not chosen to completely disable or brick these consoles, for now at least. And in all honesty, I could see both scenarios playing out where Nintendo decides they actually want to ban the entire console completely, brick it, if you decide to go against their terms of service, but playing offline should not allow them to be able to do that. But with modern technology the way it is, you never know. Nintendo is pretty sketch in that regards. Article continues. Back in May, ahead of the Switch 2's launch, Nintendo updated its Nintendo account agreement to make clear that any attempts to use hardware or software that would cause the Nintendo account services to operate other than in accordance with its documentation and intended use risked the Nintendo account services and or the applicable Nintendo device becoming permanently unusable, the whole or in part. And it's, I said earlier, in other words, the ban does not completely come without warning. They warned you. They warned everybody. Everybody knew what was going on, and they still decided to take a risk. And I love this part of the next paragraph. My Nintendo Switch 2 has been console banned, and I have absolutely no idea why, one user wrote on Reddit. When asked if they use the Mig Switch, they replied, I haven't been able to use the Mig Switch on my NS2. I tried out of curiosity. And I guarantee you that flagged that console too to get bricked. So, yeah, no, Nintendo is not joking around with their consoles. They said they were going to ban you, and they're holding true to their word. Luckily, they haven't bricked any consoles yet. I don't see them breaking it. To me, that just seems a little ludicrous that they're going to release a $500 console just to brick it if you use something like a Mig Switch. I'm not going to say that they wouldn't do it, but to me, it just seems like that would really dampen the Nintendo Switch 2's longevity or their reputation for the console itself. All in all, I think that people are just going to get banned people are just going to get banned to play offline. That's it. Anything past that, I just don't see it happening. But I could definitely be wrong. We'll see what happens with the Switch 2 as it continues on its merry way until we can eventually get to perhaps the Switch 3 or whatever else Nintendo wants to throw in. Probably another Game Sphere. Anyways, this is Tom with Lagline News. Thank you for watching. I'm signing off.